Welcome everyone back to another Battlefield 3 end game gameplay commentary. Today we are checking out some Air Superiority. This is the first video I've done on this, and I wanted to kind of do a overview review, kind of good, bad, what do I like, what do I dislike in this game mode. As I have been playing it quite a lot, so I have picked up a few things I dislike and like about this. It was always a very controversial game mode before it was even released, because I know a lot of people might have thought it was going to be a bit like Tank Superiority, where I always thought there was going to be one objective, but obviously that changed as soon as I saw some of the screenshots appear online, and it just seemed like one of those game modes that might go stale really quickly, as so did Tank Superiority. It became very unpopular after people started to try it. I think it was the one objective and the kind of the spawn kind of raping, base raping, that kind of appeared, because one team could just control the other side, or the enemy team, once they've located a good defensive position on the objective. But that was nothing like in Air Superiority. Air Superiority is very wide. The action is very spread over the map. It's not just one place. As you have 3 objectives, it does make it very team based. You do have to work with your team in some degree to lock down the objectives, otherwise if the enemy team is working together, you're going to get absolutely dominated, and you can get run down basically. So it does implement a very good teamwork kind of aspect. Whether or not you are willing to work as a team, that is completely up to you. But the other thing is, the radar in this I found is more or less useless. It's completely redundant. It doesn't really show you where the enemy jet positions are. So that's another thing I found, is there's no point having that on, as sometimes it will blink up with an enemy jet position, then it will suddenly fly off the screen. You know, where the hell did that go? But so the easiest thing to do is just put on something else like beam scanner. That's what I usually do, because the radar is useless. But moving on to the next one is the player count. I wanted to talk about this because it is 12 a side, I believe, 12 jets per side, and that is an incredible amount. I've never played, as you would imagine, on a server with such a vast number of jets flying around. It's just such a confusing melee of just what is happening, what am I meant to do, and how do I stop screaming. But yeah, I love the player count. There's nothing wrong with that. If anybody says there is, then they're completely mental. So I really like that. The map size they've done in this, I believe, is all of the map. I don't quite know if it is or not, but it looks like it. And the maps in endgame are absolutely perfectly sized for Air Superiority, what kind of combat ranges you'd like. Now, the last thing I think I want to talk about that I kind of dislike is the heat seekers. Now, they're kind of the only thing you can have on this, and I don't know if people are going to start saying that people shouldn't use them. I can see it appearing on server descriptions. You get banned or kicked if you use lock-on heat seekers. It's like, screw off. The jets are built for heat seekers. That's why they have them in the game, and the option is there. But really, what else can you use? Do people really expect you to use rocket pods or guided missile when, for one, there's no SOFLAMs and no laser painters, and for 2, rocket pods would be impossible to kill anybody unless they're moving about 3 miles an hour, or you're very lucky, or you're a very good shot. Whereas I am not, so I use heat seekers, as I find that's really the only thing to use in such a game. But with that, it does create a lot of people using them, and if there is a lot of people using them, there's going to be a lot of lock-ons, and it's very difficult to kind of defend yourself against such an attack, an onslaught of missiles, when people, especially I can just imagine one whole enemy team going after one single person. That would just be a sight to see. All the rockets, just one person. That would make my day. But whereas that might be slightly annoying, there's not much you can do about it. I don't really dislike it. I think it is a necessity, really, in Air Superiority, to kind of defend yourself and defend the flags you've got. Whereas if you only had the main gun, it'd be really, really difficult, and well, incredibly difficult. There's no really about it. So yeah, that's pretty much my review on Air Superiority. It wasn't much. I know there's not much to say about it, except it's incredibly awesome. There's just no other word to say it. If you haven't tried it, or if you're reluctant to try it, definitely try it. It's worth trying out. So that's pretty much that. The final verdict really on this is it's a very good game mode, and I see nothing really wrong with it. It's a lot of fun to play. It's not really one of those game modes you could play for hours and hours on end, because it does get slightly frustrating after a certain while, but playing it with some friends, and just for maybe if you get bored of the other game modes, or you just want something not relaxing, because it's very stressful, this game, but just something different, something a little bit, I don't really know how to say it, different, I'll just call it different, something different and fresh. It's worth it. So I hope you enjoyed the video. It was a bit here and there, hit and miss, but either way, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, I'd really appreciate it if you left a like. That would be incredible. Post any comments, any questions you may have right down